story goes back to the boyhood of Ganesh. Some of you might know Ganesh is the son of Shiva and Shakti, and thus the son of manifestation and consciousness of the primordial duality of the universe. So as the son, he has a very prominent position, and it just so happened that once Shakti was going to take a bath, and she, being a decent woman, needed someone to stand by the door and watch so that no one would surprise her in the bath. So she asked her son to stand there and pay close attention. So he did, and Shiva came home unsuspecting, and for some reason that I wasn't really able to determine, for some funny reason he didn't recognize his son.
That's because he was on war for eons of time.
He was gone for ages. That was the simple reason. He was gone for ages, he came back, and he didn't recognize his son who had grown up so much. So when he came to that door and found it guarded by the boy, he asked the boy to stand aside. He wanted to go inside. The boy said, "No, my mother is taking a bath, that won't work." And Shiva got really angry and didn't accept to be rejected like this. So Shiva, naturally, as you would, chopped off the head of that boy to get inside. So he did, and then of course his wife made him aware of his mistake, and he regretted it greatly. And immediately tried to go and fix it, looking for a suitable head that would fit on top of that boy. The closest and easiest head he could find was that of an elephant. And so he attached that to his son's body, and henceforth he had an elephant-headed son. There are many such stories in the scriptures, and we don't always immediately see what the point of them is, right? But when we actually sit with them and meditate on them and spend some time with them, oftentimes it comes to us. And it comes to us maybe in an individual, subjective way more than anything. That we find some teaching for us in each of those stories. And of course, these are just stories from another culture. If you think back into our own childhood, we were told stories. And they didn't always make complete sense, did they, right? So as we grew older, we started to notice the inconsistencies and ask uncomfortable questions, and so the parents stopped telling us the stories. But nonetheless, the stories had some teachings, and these teachings are available to us through stories, and it is a wonderful way to find just a little bits of inspiration that we may need at any given point. We will stay with the energy of Shiva and sing number 4, a rather well-known song by Krishna Das. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namaha, Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya, Girijaya Shankara Namah Shivaya, Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya, Haraum Namah Shivaya. And maybe one word more about the meaning here. As we said last week, there isn't usually a lot of translation possible for mantras, for chants like this, because most of them are just different names of the divine, one after the other. Sometimes we find other words, like here we have Shiva and then Shambho and Shankara, which are all names of Shiva. Even Hara is actually a name of Shiva. But then we have Giri, which means mountain, and we have Arunachala, which is the name of a mountain, and not just any mountain, it is a mountain in South India which has been seen for millennia as a manifestation of Shiva. So many people pilgrim to that mountain, and every full moon tens of thousands of pilgrims are circumambulating this wonderful mountain that may not look like much at first, but as you spend time around there, it grows on you. It becomes more and more tangible how Shiva's energy is present. And so Arunachala has found his way into many songs, including this one.
And so we have a few toys here if somebody likes to play. You're welcome.
There you are. So let's start with a nice Om together. Take a deep breath. Shiva is consciousness. Shiva is the awareness that pervades all. And singing to Shiva allows us to be reminded of that, to be reminded of performing all our actions with awareness, with consciousness, to transcend this material world, manifestation, which is only one half of the primordial duality, and complete it by bringing total consciousness into that experience. So Shiva also is one of the trinity of Hinduism, and it might be in order to mention that we don't really consider ourselves Hindus or practicing Hinduism per se. It's rather that Hinduism grew out of yoga. It is a simplification of yoga for the lay people. And as such, the Indians have taken pieces and bits and techniques, especially these techniques that don't need a lot of explanation, and practiced those in a religious context. with priests and all the usual structures of religions. And downsides, as we know. Nonetheless, these practices are originally yogic practices and they come from ancient times. And in those ancient times it has been seen, the universe has been seen. One way of describing it was the trinity of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. And Brahma was the creator who brought it all forth into the multiplicity that it is. Vishnu being the preserver, responsible for how it goes down, for what happens and taking care of it in a way. That is also why there are many incarnations of Vishnu that seem to be coming every 500 years more or less. And then Shiva being the transformer, the dissolver, sometimes called the destroyer, which is a little misleading because he only destroys in order to bring totality, to bring union, to allow us to transcend all limitations. So singing to Shiva makes us merge with that idea. We'll sing one more to his honor, number 14.
It's been said that Sanskrit is a sacred language. And it's not only a sacred language, it's a perfect language. The legend goes that it has been given to the rishis, to the saints, to the enlightened beings in moments of awakening, in moments of samadhi. So the vibration of this language naturally brings our vibration to perfection, to divinity, and help us reconnect with the divine, with oneness, in all different forms that it comes.
Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hara Hara Bole Namah Shivaya. We bow down to Shiva, Shiva we sing and bow down to Shiva. Jata Dhara Shiva, Jata Dhara, Hara Hara Bole Namah Shivaya. Jata Dhara being another name of Shiva. So is Ganga Dhara Shiva, Ganga Dhara, and Rameshvara Shiva, Rameshvara.
And we don't go into details about the names. Very often they describe different qualities of the divine. Shiva who carries the Ganga in his hair, or Shiva whose vehicle is Nandi, or so if you read the text, they're very often a description of many names and qualities of the divine, many attributes of the divine.
Namah
Namah Shivaya.